Hello, I am Coach Nikki Cates. I am the founder of Strategic Transformations and the creator of the UNMASK at Work framework. I created this framework based on my own authentic experiences after 30 years in the workforce in various industries, including the U.S. military, and both as employee and staff and management and leadership roles. I've been the good and I've been the difficult. I've been the toxic and I've been the healthy. We are all two sides of one coin. And today, as a certified life coach, chaplain in formation, and a liberation leader and transformation strategist, I want to share with you the 5 masks every manager wears and why they're killing your team. So today we are going to dive into the masks that we wear as leaders, those protective personas that feel necessary but ultimately limit our effectiveness and authenticity. We'll explore 5 common masks and understand why we wear them and discover how removing them can transform our leadership. And I want you to remember, as we begin to unfold the Unmask at Work framework, I want you to remember that probably the majority, if not all of us, have become accustomed to showing up to our places of employment or business masked, not fully ourselves, and wearing layers of armor for protection, because people are going to be people. But just as that can be true on a negative perspective, it is also true on a positive. So let's go ahead and let's jump right in. The first mask that we will cover is one that I am super familiar with. It is the Perfectionist Mask, always having it together. What does this look like in daily management? The Perfectionist manager double, triple, quadruple checks everything, rarely delegates meaningful work, and presents flawless reports in meetings. They work late to polish presentations, avoid taking risks that might expose imperfection, and struggle to give feedback because they're busy fixing everything themselves. Their desk is immaculate, their emails are crafted to perfection, and they never admit when they don't know something. Now, why do we wear this mask? What is this survival mechanism? This mask develops from early experiences where mistakes felt dangerous, maybe a critical parent, academic pressure, and or early career moments where being wrong had consequences. The perfectionists learn that flawless performance equals safety and acceptance. It's a protection against judgment, rejection, and the vulnerability of being seen as inadequate. The hidden cost to your team? Your team learns they can't bring you problems because you'll just fix them instead of coaching them through the solutions. They stop taking initiative because their work never feels good enough. Innovation dies because experimentation means imperfection. Your direct reports become dependent rather than developed, and the culture becomes risk-averse and stagnant. So what is the transformation opportunity here? When you remove the perfectionist mask, you become a developer of people rather than a doer of tasks. You model learning and growth, create psychological safety for innovation and mistake making, and build a team that's resilient and self-sufficient. Your authenticity about struggles and mistakes give others permission to be human and to grow, for none of us are truly robots. The people pleaser mask, avoiding difficult conversations. I am also very familiar with this one. This one is pretty hard to remove. What it looks like in daily management. The people pleaser says yes to unrealistic deadlines, avoids giving direct feedback, and smooths over conflicts instead of addressing them. They hint at problems rather than speaking directly, take on extra work to avoid disappointing others, and make decisions based on who might get upset rather than what's best for the organization. They're the manager who everyone likes, but nothing really gets resolved. Why do we wear this mask? As a survival mechanism. This mask forms when we learn that conflict equals danger, maybe from a chaotic household, early experiences of rejection, or workplace environments where challenging others led to punishment. This sounds very much like the military. The people pleaser discovered that keeping everyone happy meant staying safe and accepted. Conflict feels like a threat to relationships and belonging. But what is the hidden cost to your team? Problems fester because they're never directly addressed. High performers get frustrated because poor performance is being tolerated. Your team loses respect for your leadership because boundaries aren't being maintained. The culture becomes passive aggressive and productivity suffers because clarity and accountability are sacrificed for false harmony. So, what is the transformation opportunity here? When you remove the people pleaser mask, you become a leader who creates real trust through honesty and clear expectations. You build a culture where issues are addressed quickly and fairly. Your team becomes more secure because they know where they stand, and performance improves because standards are maintained with care and respect. The tough guy mask, emotional disconnection for strength. What does this look like in daily management? The tough guy manager or tough woman keeps emotions out of the workplace, rarely shows vulnerability, and leads through authority and fear rather than connection. They make decisions quickly without consulting others, dismiss concerns as soft skills, and maintain distance from their team. They pride themselves on being objective and rational, often saying things like, "It's just business," when delivering difficult news. So, why do we wear this mask as a survival mechanism? This mask often develops from early messages that emotions are weakness, professional environments that punished vulnerability, or personal experiences where showing feelings led to hurt or manipulation. The tough guy learned, or tough woman, that emotional distance equals strength and that connection creates liability. It's protection against being seen as weak or being taken advantage of. It's a protection. The hidden cost of this to your team is that your team feels disconnected and undervalued because they can't connect with you as a human being. Employee engagement drops because people need emotional connection to feel invested. You miss critical information because people don't feel safe bringing concerns to someone who seems emotionally unavailable. Turnover increases because people leave managers, not organizations or companies. So, what is the transformation opportunity here? When you remove the tough guy mask, you become a leader who creates genuine connection and builds loyalty. You build psychological safety that leads to better communication and innovation. Your authenticity inspires others to bring their full selves to work, resulting in higher engagement and better performance. You discover that vulnerability is actually a leadership strength. The rescuer mask, fixing everyone else's problems. What it looks like in our daily management? The rescuer manager constantly swoops in to solve problems, takes on tasks that belong to others, and feels responsible for everyone's success and happiness. They work longer hours because they're carrying their team's workload, interrupt their own priorities to help others, and struggle to say no when someone asks for help. They're always available, always fixing, always taking responsibility. So, why do we wear this mask that exhausts us and burns us out so? As a survival mechanism. This mask develops from early experiences where helping others felt like the path to love and acceptance. Maybe being the responsible child in a dysfunctional family, or learning that your worth came from being needed. The rescuer discovered that being indispensable meant being valued, and that others' problems became their identity and purpose. So, what is the hidden cost to your team? Your team never develops problem solving skills because you're always providing solutions. They become dependent and less confident in their abilities. You create a culture of learned helplessness where people wait for you to fix things instead of taking initiative. Your own strategic work suffers because you're stuck in a tactical rescue mode. But wait, what is the transformation opportunity here? When you remove the rescuer mask, you become a coach who develops capability rather than dependency. You empower your team to solve their own problems, building their confidence and skills. You free yourself to focus on strategic leadership while creating a more resilient and capable team. You discover that helping people help themselves is far more valuable than doing the work for them. And our final mask for this training is the performer mask. Success at any cost. What does this look like in daily management? The performer manager is always on, focusing intensely on metrics and results while neglecting relationships and processes. They push their team hard, sacrifice long-term sustainability for short-term wins, and measure everything by external validation, like promotions, recognition, or beating other teams. They're competitive, driven, and often successful by traditional measures, but at a very significant cost. Now, why would this manager wear this mask? As a survival mechanism. This mask forms when we learn that achievement equals worth, maybe from achievement-focused parenting, competitive environments, or early career experiences where results were the only thing that mattered. The performer discovered that winning meant acceptance and that failure meant rejection. Success becomes not just a goal, but a survival strategy. The hidden cost to your team experiences burnout continually because the pace is unsustainable. Relationships suffer because everything is transactional and results focused. Innovation decreases because people are afraid to experiment and potentially fail. Team members feel valued only for their output, not as regular everyday human beings, leading to disengagement and high turnover. So, what is the transformation opportunity here? When you remove the performer mask, you become a leader who creates sustainable success through people, development, and healthy processes. You build a culture where people feel valued for who they are, not just what they produce. You discover that focusing on the journey and the people leads to better results than focusing solely on outcomes. Now, just like in our personal lives, these masks served us at one point or another. They were survival mechanisms that helped us navigate challenging situations. But once protected us, now it limits us. The courage to remove these masks and lead authentically is what transforms good managers into great leaders. The question isn't whether you wear these masks, because we all do. The question is, are you ready to take them off and discover the leader that you're meant to be? Remember, your team doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to be real. They need you to be present. And they need you to be committed to their growth. That's where true leadership begins. And that's how your team, your organization, and yourself can be transformed from the inside out. The UNMASK framework was created to teach us how to lead from our authentic selves instead of through our survival mechanisms. Attempting to lead when you are yourself bogged down with armor from past experiences and your own insecurities is most definitely going to be projected outward to you employees, in which they're already wearing their own armor and dealing with their own issues. And you can see how this creates a chaos and a mess in the workplace. So the key is to lead from a place of authenticity and transparency so others feel safe to do the same. That is why I created this framework, so that we can transform toxic work environments into healthy ones, because most of us spend more of our waking hours in our workplaces than we do anywhere else in our lives. So I encourage you to stay connected, watch this framework unfold, and let me know how I can assist you and your team in moving through the UNMASK framework and transforming from toxic to healthy from the inside out. I ask that you will tag a leader who needs this message and share it so that others also can be unmasked. And if you are a woman of color leader looking to have a support system to work through this unmasking from a personal and professional perspective, please join us through the Sisters Unbothered community on Substack. Thank you.